Hey guys, welcome to Lingua Marina. Today we're going to talk about unwritten rules in the USA. I've lived here for 7 years, and it's interesting how this culture has a lot of rules that people don't talk to you about, but then you only realize when you are in a situation that I've been in. I did this creator economy party, which was supposed to start at 4 p.m. I'm like, okay, 4 p.m. I had a lady who came in to cook for us because I expected at least 15 people, and she cooked everything, so everything was ready at 4 p.m. Guess what? The first guest showed up at 5 p.m., an hour later. And I actually realized that, this is a common thing when you invite people for a party. If it's not, because I never said it was like a formal dinner. When you say, oh, let's gather together like at 4 p.m., they're like, oh, that means if we gather at 4, probably last till 8 and I will come later. And so a lot of people came later, so the food was all cold. And I was a bit upset because I expected something different. But then, a month later, when I had another party, I just didn't expect anyone to show up at 4. So I just chilled on my terrace, didn't really start cooking until the first person arrived. Yesterday, I was at a dinner, which was kind of a formal dinner, and they told us to arrive at 6. I arrived at 6:10. I'm still doing this thing. I think it's European, right? When you arrive right on time. But anyways, I arrived at 6:10. Of course, I was the first person. Of course, my friends haven't even started cooking yet. The next couple showed up, I think it's 7, and the last couple, they showed up at 8. So it's like, people are so relaxed here, and if it's a party, that means that they approach it in a relaxed way. 4 p.m., I'll come at 6. So it's common, just don't be surprised. Oh, and of course, never come early. Just don't do it, because if you come 10 minutes before the party, the host will still be probably sleeping or whatever, or just doing their own thing. So don't do it unless you're very close friends. Interactions with random children. Now, it's important to be careful here. I have 2 kids, and a lot of Americans approach them and say, hey, you're so sweet. Oh, your baby's so nice. But they would never take pictures of your kid. There was a tourist, and she was a tourist. I knew it. She just came to Emily and took a picture, and that was so weird. And I just realized that nobody does it in the US. There are a lot of policies that protect children from being photographed in public. So never do that. No matter how cute the child is, don't just come to the child and like, oh, your child is so cute, I'll take a picture. And don't touch the kids. And never ever give them anything. And it applies to dogs as well. I live in California where people care a lot about health. Like if somebody gives a sweet to a kid, I had my friend complain for hours to me that she was trying to not introduce sugar to her kid unless she was 4 years old. And there was this lady in the street that gave her a candy and she ate it. And it's like, there is also this tradition when, Halloween and candy is everywhere, but I'm also trying to make Emily stay away from those candies. But anyways, never give anything to a child. And never take pictures. Oh, never jump the line. And in the US, you have the road, but you also have this ramp, which is always free. It's for if something happens, you can park there. Not even park. You can't just park there. You only can go there and stay there if something is wrong, something's happening. So basically, I was driving with a friend who was not from the US. And so it was like a standstill traffic. And he went on this ramp to just go straight ahead and, get ahead of everyone. So people started blocking his way. They were like, you can't do it. This is a ramp. This is not for you to get ahead of the traffic. So never cut the line in the US. This applies both to when you're driving, and this also applies to when you're just standing in line as a human. Don't get in front of everyone. Personal space, especially in 2022 when people are still scared of COVID. I was in line a couple of weeks ago. I was in line at Walgreens, and I was too close to a person, maybe this close. And he was like, excuse me, can you please back off a little bit? And he was super polite. He's like, can you back off a little bit? I might have COVID. So he kept explaining. But I also understood, even if he didn't have COVID, it was a bit uncomfortable for me, especially at these times when we have this disease. So he asked me to back off and keep the distance. I think people now assume that we still keep 6 feet distance from each other at public places, at least here in California. And a lot of people still wear masks here, though they don't have to. It just tells you about how cautious people are. And I think if you're a member of your community, you need to appreciate other people's attitude to what's going on in the world. And sometimes at a party, when you want to be closer to someone, and I notice this because when I'm at a party, my voice is like, it mixes with the crowd, so I want to be closer to a person, and sometimes they would just back off. They're like, who is this weird lady trying to be so close to me? So if they do that, stay where you are. Don't be like, oh, hey. You will notice sometimes it's really weird. Like you approach someone, like, hey, and they will be like, hi. So it happens. Just it's an unwritten rule, and this is why I'm making this video, so you know it can happen. Police. Now here you need to be careful. When you are stopped in your car, make sure your hands are on the wheel. Don't do anything unless you're asked for it. So there were a lot of instances where, somebody was a criminal, they had a gun. So police officers need to make sure you don't have a gun. So everything that you do should be super slow, and if they ask you for a driver's license, only then you remove your hands from the wheel and give them the driver's license. Again, depends on the area. Like, in the US, you have really good areas, like where I live, Los Altos. I was stopped by police because I was doing an illegal U-turn. I kind of knew it, but I wanted to make a U-turn. He was like, you can't make a U-turn here. If you do it once again, I'm gonna, fine you. But then they just let me go. Or, in some areas, they're really nice. In some areas, they are more cautious. So just make sure you follow all the rules, you stay calm, and you keep your hands on the wheel, and you only do things when they ask you for them. Shall I speak about bribing? It doesn't work in the US. Like, don't even try to do that. When you are moving in public places in the US, always keep to your right. Like on the road. If you're in the UK, do you walk on the left then? Like, if you walk in public places in the US, you always keep to your right. If you use the escalator, you always tend to your right. This is an unwritten rule to navigate in public places. The next unwritten rule is using Instagram and LinkedIn for networking. If you meet a person at a more relaxed party, like, I don't know, the parties that I attend are like blogger parties. So if you meet people there, even if they work for bigger companies, the way you exchange contacts is actually by following each other on Instagram. And this is why sometimes you might see that some Americans follow thousands of people. This is their way of networking. They meet people, they follow them on Instagram just to keep in touch with them. If it's a more professional environment, people would follow each other on LinkedIn. So make sure you're keeping both profiles. Well, it's up to you, but I would recommend keeping those two profiles kind of up to date. Like with LinkedIn, you fill in your job history, your education history. You don't have to actively post there, you just, update it. With Instagram, posting once in 2 weeks or once in a month, like a photo, if you want to use it for networking, that would be great. Because I'm a creator, a lot of Americans are actually impressed by the number of followers, even if it's like 20,000 followers, which my husband has 20,000 followers, and when he networks with people and they follow them on Instagram, they're like, oh my God, 20,000 followers. So it's just good, like if you want to be active on social media, it's good for networking here, and networking in the US is really important. Okay, small talk. Small talk is everywhere. You start an appointment with a doctor, and the doctor is asking you how you're feeling, what's going on in your life. Oh my God, have you noticed how hot it is? Oh, I'm so glad that COVID is over. Or I'm so glad you no longer have to wear a mask. Or if you start a conversation with your banker, they would be like, how are your kids doing? Small talk is this way to make you feel more comfortable in a new environment, and it's everywhere. Business, your day-to-day. I can't imagine a situation without small talk. Even if you're checking out in Safeway, like a grocery store, they might say something, oh my God, you got those eggs, they're amazing. Beep. Oh my God, your baby's so cute. Beep. Like, they use the small talk all the time. I think Americans are very open and friendly by nature, and small talk doesn't mean that they're like way too interested in your purchases. I even know that in some stores they have to do the small work and give you compliments on your choice, like, oh, you're buying this mascara. I know for some cosmetic stores they'll be, oh wow, you're getting this mascara, this is my favorite, I've been using it for years. Now sometimes it's actually in their script to make you feel better about making the right choice. Don't take it too personally. Well, you can, but when time passes you will get used to it. At first I was like, oh my God, they want to be friends with me. Like, this is me. Like, whenever people are nice to me, I'm like, oh, they probably want to be my best friends. But then you realize this is actually culture, and I like this culture. Super open. It's just, don't take it like too personally that they're interested in you particularly. They will be communicating like that with almost everyone they meet, which is great. It just establishes this friendly environment. And the last but not the least, smiling. Sometimes not smiling is even impolite. Smile is again this attribute of a friendly culture in the US. That was it from me for today, guys. I hope it was useful and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching it and I hope to see you soon in my next videos. Please subscribe to Lingua Marina to not miss another video on this channel. See you very soon. Bye bye.